Yo, what's up guys, my name is Rams, I'm a professional Rocket League coach for the team Top Blokes in RLCS, and today I decided to bring you a video about how to become a pro player in Rocket League. So the titles, as you would expect, I want to talk to you about how you can go from brand new at the game to going and playing in RLCS on a week-to-week basis and trying to compete for the $3.8 to $4 million prize pool that's currently in RLCS right now. So let's talk about it. If you're a new player, I recommend you checking out my other video, which is 10 things I wish I knew when I first started playing Rocket League. That will help you get the basics down of when to start progressing. But the first thing you kind of have to do is grind the game. I know this is like the most boring answer in the world, but it's all about grinding the game, playing 1s, 2s and 3s. There is no set game mode that will accelerate your performance. All three are going to be super helpful, and just making sure you're grinding them on a kind of fairly even basis. Obviously 3v3 is going to be the predominant playlist because you're wanting to compete in a 3v3 environment, but 1s will help with mechanics and a lot of recovery situations, 2s helps you position properly, and 3s is going to teach you the game sense and rotation of how to progress through the game. So what I'd be saying is grind the ranks and make sure you're climbing through the ranks and try and get as close to the top rank. So before we get to even the next step, I recommend you be pushing to try and get to like GC1, GC2, even higher than that. But that leads me on to the next point. So when you start getting up to GC1, GC2, what you'll find is your mechanics are going to be improving, and there may be some things that you haven't quite learned along the way in terms of like gaps in your knowledge about how you have to rotate, how to position, like all that sort of thing. So what the thing I'd recommend when you get to this sort of point, and some of you who will be watching this are already there, is get some coaching. Not everyone has money to spare, but there are many cheap coaches, not to mention there's plenty of people on Twitch, including myself, who do free replay analysis in certain situations. Or for me, you can tier 2 sub to me on Twitch, or there's a channel point redeem, or I sometimes do raffle away free replay analysis. Like there's a lot of opportunities to win some free replay analysis from me. But get some coaching. What it will do is it will allow someone to have an outside opinion looking at your gameplay and be able to kind of fine tune and really refocus where you should be focusing your energy and improvements going forwards. Coaching is not obviously for everyone, and like I said, it's not always affordable, but there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube, as well as people, like I said, doing it on Twitch, that will help you get into the next level that you want to be getting in, which is the top ranks, SSL. The next thing to talk about, kind of on the back of the previous thing, if you're getting coaching, is once you have that coaching session, you don't need to have regular sessions, as much as they can be extremely helpful. But what you can learn is how the coach looks at your gameplay, and you can kind of take that and start looking at your own replays through kind of that eye, through that perspective that their coach has given you. If you look through your own replays, whether it's a good replay or a bad replay, you'll be able to pick up on things that you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done this, or maybe I should have rotated this way, or maybe I should have tried to stay in mid here, and etc, etc. And you'll start picking up on these small little decisions that you're making, and the more that you make yourself aware of them, the more you're going to be actively trying to fix them in games. And if you're not, then you can just keep looking until you almost punish yourself by cringing at your own gameplay so that you can actually keep improving. So the next step for me is to analyze your own replays once you've already had that kind of in-depth coaching session. So the next step for me, things have kind of changed because the structure of LCS has kind of changed a little bit, but the next thing I'd suggest is, if you're getting close to the SSL ranks, is to start playing 6-mans. So what 6-mans is essentially, it's a 3v3 game mode, but you queue up as an individual, and then there'll be either captains or random teams, and you'll get randomly assigned, and then you have to go play in this brand new team that you've never played in against another brand new team, and you have to try and compete. What this really does fine tune is it helps you elevate and play around certain players. Players are going to have different play styles. You probably have a different play style to me and to X other players, but what you'll be able to do is understand what's happening. You'll develop the ability to communicate in voice with the team that you're playing with, and you'll also be able to learn how to adapt and play around them. Even if you don't immediately, if you keep going and you keep going, you'll start to realize, oh, this guy's like super aggressive, so I'll play a little bit like this way, or this guy's quite passive and he's quite slow, like, and he hangs back, he plays as an anchor. All right, I'll try to be more aggressive, be like whatever. These two guys are a really good duo, so maybe I'll be able to be more aggressive and get some demos and stuff like that, open up the space for them to get some passing plays, etc. You'll start to really develop your own style and your own adaptability, and that's going to be a really key thing in you improving and trying to push into that pro level. So if you're listening to this and you're SSL, I think you'll be starting in rank C or rank B, there or thereabouts. So what you're wanting to do, what I'd suggest is the most optimal thing you can do, is get to around rank B plus to rank A. Rank A is going to be your portal into like finding the high level bubble players that are going to be in the scene. where you'll be able to find a team and actually try and compete. But rank B plus is also kind of that middle ground, but you can still find people in rank B, for example, and you'll be able to find people and you can compete with them, and you'll be able to compete in the next thing, which is what I'm going to talk about just now. So Rival Esports have introduced a monthly tournament called The Field, and basically what it is essentially what Six Man's is, but for a structured team. So you always have the same teammates and you play against other structured teams. So there's 3 divisions. There's Division 3, 2 and 1. That makes sense. 3 being the lowest. 3 is your entry level. You can play Division 3. You'll play against a huge variety of skill, and once you do well in there, you basically get a monthly record, and if you reach a month, like a certain level of the top X% of that division that you're in, you will promote into the next division, and then from there you go into the next division. Now Division 1 is set in place for the RLCS teams and the high level bubble teams, the teams that are qualifying for RLCS and trying to compete, like I said, for the $3.8 million prize pool. So you can see how there's like clear progression there. But what I would say is get your team. Once you like grinded 6 mans, you've developed your skills quite well, get a team, play Division 3, grind it out. You'll play against some good teams, you'll play against some bad teams, you'll be able to progress through, you'll get experience against playing against other teams, as well as the pressure of playing a best of 5 series each time, and then you'll slowly see your record increase. And if you do push into Division 2, Division 2 is the breeding ground for the next set of pro teams. Not to mention, with The Field, there is in fact prize money to be won. So I mean, at the same time of you being able to grind, you're actually getting something out of it as well. So big props to Rival Esports for setting this up, but you should make sure you're doing that as well. So once you've found your team through The Field, you have a team, maybe you've pushed up to Division 2 and you're starting to grind a little bit. The 2 things that I'd say, well, I don't know why this is my 2L. The 2 things that I'd say that you should work on next is going to be scrimming against other teams. So that's essentially practice matches, usually lasting about an hour long. It's roughly between 6 to 8 games, and you'll be able to practice on them on a more like relaxed basis, but you're just about like trying to rehearse the stuff that you're trying to practice as a team. That maybe you have a coach coming in and having a look at things, and you're trying to adapt mid-series, and you're getting used to playing against potentially better teams and stuff like that. Scrimming is a huge deal. Every pro team scrims at least, twice a day, that sort of thing, and that's 2 hours of your day that people are dedicating to practicing in private on a more relaxed basis, just to make sure they're as sharp as they can and they're getting enough practice as they can against like good teams. So scrimming is the next thing I'd say, and on top of that, I would say there are plenty of weekly tournaments to be participating in. And there's nice Cactus weeklies and monthlies. The RLCS has regionals pretty much every 3 weeks or something like that at the moment, which is unheard of in the past. In the previous formats, it'd be every 6 months you'd have to play 1 qualifier, and if you didn't make that qualifier, you have to wait another 6 months. It's incredible. There'll be one-off events as well playing. Zynox have done a lot of side events that have open qualifiers, and so you'll be able to compete in those. Just anything like that is going to give you valuable experience in working towards yourself being a pro player. That being said, the things that come down the line once you have developed your skills and had your team, sometimes teams fall out, sometimes you'll disband, sometimes you'll want to search for a new team, sometimes you'll feel like you've improved too far beyond the team you were on, so you want to seek new opportunities. All of that's fine. This is a one-off video, but I want to break down each step into a more detailed version. If you have any questions and you're in any of these situations and you have any specific things, I'm happy to talk about them. Make sure that you comment down below and I will get to them as much, or you can tweet at me, or you can join my Discord and send me a message on Discord. Any of those things, you can contact me, because I'm happy to give as much advice as I possibly can. I've not necessarily had the experience of a pro player, but I've had the experience of a pro coach from pretty much every level up until now, so I know what it's like to be in each of those situations. So I can definitely see if I can shed some light and help offer some valuable advice to you moving forward, and hopefully we can, as a collective, create a whole wave of new pro players coming through who have to all credit me as the best coach in the world. Anyway, that's the video for now. If you liked it, make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz. I think we're very close to 500 subs, so I'm not sure if we would have hit it by the time this video goes out, but here's hoping. We're not too far away, but that will help me out a lot. Make sure you follow my socials on TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch, Rams_RL, all the same thing. I'll be posting regularly on all of those. Like I said, on Twitch, I'll be doing 5L streams, replay analysis streams, all that jazz, everything that you might want. You can find it on my Twitch. All right, peace.